This is part 2 of the test review. Part 1 had numbers 1 through 5. So on part 2 we start off with a child flying a kite. You observe the kite makes an angle of 45 degrees with the ground. So this is the picture I'm seeing. Here's the ground. Here's a okay, and it asks you how high is the kite off the ground. If the amount of string let out is 75 feet. So here's the amount of string from the kid holding it down here to the kite up here. And this is a 45-degree angle, we're told, so that makes a 45, 45, 90 triangle, which means that this side and this side are S, and this is S square roots of 2. So, S square roots of 2, sorry, that doesn't look like an S, let's fix that. S times the square root of 2 equals 75, so S is equal to 75 over the square root of 2. That's Y, that's the side. Now if we rationalize that, which remember I told you without your calculator, it's okay if you don't rationalize it, but it's 75 root 2 over 2. That's the height above the ground. Okay, 75 over root 2 or 75 times the radical of 2 over 2. Now for the following 3 triangles, give the missing sides. So it's a 45, 45, 90. Oop. These should all have 90-degree angles. Remember I told you that occasionally I forget to put those on. So if this side is 3, this side is 3, this side is 3 radical 2. This is a 30, 60, 90. Short side is across from the 30. Hypotenuse is the long side. Hypotenuse is twice the short side, and the long side is the short side times the square root of 3. This is also a 30, 60, 90, but we're given the long side. Okay, so this means this is the short side, x times the square root of 3. This side is x, and this side is 2x. So we need to do a little bit of work. X is going to equal 5 over the square root of 3. That's the short side, 5 over the square root of 3. And then twice that is 10 over the square root of 3. Okay, so the short side is x, the hypotenuse is 2x, and the long side is x root 3. And we're given the long side, so that's the amount of work to do there. Okay, the next problems are unit circle problems. You're asked for the sine of 11 pi over 6. So this is number 8 that we're doing now. Okay, well, we have to picture our unit circle without having it in our hand. 11 pi over 6 is here. It's 1/6 less than 2 pi, right? Because 12, if you're talking about sixes, 12 over 6 is going to equal 2 pi. So this is 1 short of that. So this sine of that is going to be negative 1/2. If I was to picture my unit circle, which is always how you should try to think of this, right, here we are. That is, the coordinate of that would be root 3 over 2, comma, minus 1/2. There's the sine. Okay, so sine of 11 pi over 6 is minus 1/2. Tan of 3 pi over 4. Well, in order to do tan of 3 pi over 4, we know that that's y over x. So where's 3 pi over 4? We need to visualize that. So let's get a different color. 3 pi over 4. 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4. Remember, you can divide pi up into the amount that you need and visualize where this is. So here's your 3 pi over 4. Now, what's the coordinates of 3 pi over 4? We're at negative root 2 over 2, comma, positive root 2 over 2. That's the coordinates on the unit circle. So if I put y over x, I'm going to get root 2 over 2 over negative root 2 over 2, negative 1. Tan of 3 pi over 4 is negative 1. Cosecant of negative 2 pi over 3. So we're going to go to negative 2 pi over 3 on our unit circle. All right, here's my pi line again. We're going to divide that into thirds. Negative pi over 3, negative pi over 3, negative pi over 3. So here's your negative 2 pi over 3. It's the same as positive 4 pi over 3, right? It's the same thing. So what's the point here? That's going to be negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. And we want, on part C, we want the cosecant of negative 2 pi over 3. Well, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So let's think about what is the sine of negative 2 pi over 3. That's the same as the sine of positive 4 pi over 3. So the sine of negative 2 pi over 3 is negative root 3 over 2. So the cosecant, we're going to flip that upside down. Cosecant of negative 2 pi over 3 is just going to be negative 2 over root 3, which, if you rationalize the denominator, comes out to be negative 2 root 3 over 3. Okay, and then the last one says cotangent of 7 pi. Well, we know that odd pies, I'm not even going to draw a new picture even though we're crowded. Odd pies are right here at negative 1 comma 0. Okay, so for part D, we want the cotangent of 7 pi. Alright, and cotangent is x over y. So x is negative 1, y is 0, that is undefined. The third video will cover 9 through the end of the practice test, and you can find that following this one.